Every NFL rule change that sparked crazy conspiracies. Nothing infuriates NFL fans more than this. Watching your team fight for every inch, only to have the game flipped upside down by a rule you never saw coming. That pain, that frustration, it's the spark that's fueled decades of wild conspiracies about the league itself. Was the infamous tuck rule really about fairness, or was it designed to protect a future dynasty? Did roughing the passer changes truly keep quarterbacks safe, or just guarantee high-scoring TV ratings? And why do certain rule changes always seem to benefit the NFL's biggest stars and biggest markets? Tonight, we unravel every NFL rule change that sparked the craziest conspiracies. By the end, you'll have to ask yourself, is the league protecting the game or controlling the outcome? The truth was never just about the rules. Every NFL rule change that sparked crazy conspiracies. The tuck rule, Brady's lucky break, or league's master plan. Let's start with the big one. January 2001. Snow everywhere. Patriots versus Raiders. Tom Brady fumbles, except he didn't. The refs call it an incomplete pass because of something called the tuck rule. Nobody had ever heard of this rule before. The Patriots keep the ball. They win the game. They win the Super Bowl. Brady becomes the greatest of all time. But here's where it gets weird. The rule was made in 1999, right when the Patriots needed a quarterback. Coincidence? Fans don't think so. Some say the NFL wanted to build a new dynasty in a big market. Others say the league needed a fresh face after losing stars to retirement. The Raiders? They're still mad about it today. And get this, the NFL got rid of the tuck rule in 2013, right after Brady had won 3 Super Bowls. Why keep a rule for 14 years if it was so confusing? Unless it did exactly what it was supposed to do. But the tuck rule wasn't the only time a rule change made people question everything. Roughing the passer, protecting QBs, or protecting profits. Quarterbacks are the golden boys of the NFL. They sell jerseys. They fill stadiums. They make fans tune in every Sunday. So when the league started changing rules to protect them more and more, people noticed. And they started asking questions. In 2018, the NFL made roughing the passer penalties super strict. You couldn't land on the QB with your body weight. You couldn't touch his helmet. You couldn't breathe on him wrong. Okay, maybe not that strict, but close. Defenders were furious. Fans were confused. Games were decided by penalties that looked ridiculous on replay. The league said it was about player safety. But here's the thing. High-scoring games get better TV ratings. More touchdowns mean more excitement. More excitement means more money. And you know what makes games higher scoring? Giving quarterbacks more protection so they can throw without fear. Was this really about safety? Or was it about making sure Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers stayed healthy enough to print money for the league? And speaking of money, let's talk about the catch rule that broke the internet. The Dez Bryant catch that wasn't, when the NFL couldn't even explain its own rules. 2014 playoffs. Cowboys versus Packers. Dez Bryant makes an incredible catch in the end zone. Everyone watching thinks it's a touchdown. Dez thinks it's a touchdown. Even some Packers fans thought it was a catch. But the refs say no. Incomplete pass. Why? Because of the Calvin Johnson rule. A rule so complicated that even announcers couldn't explain it. You had to catch the ball, maintain control, make a football move, survive the ground, and maybe sacrifice a chicken under a full moon. Okay, not the last part, but it felt that way. Here's the conspiracy. The NFL wanted Aaron Rodgers in the Super Bowl, not Tony Romo. Green Bay was the bigger story. Rodgers was the bigger star. And conveniently, a confusing rule took away Dallas's chance to win. After years of chaos and angry fans, the NFL finally changed the catch rule in 2018. They simplified it, which made everyone ask, if you could make it simple now, why was it so complicated before? But at least the catch rule confusion happened during the game. This next rule change happened in a secret meeting. Pass interference review, the rule that came and went. 2019 NFC Championship. Rams versus Saints. One of the most obvious pass interference calls in history gets missed. The Saints lose. The Rams go to the Super Bowl. New Orleans riots. Not literally, but close. The anger was everywhere. So the NFL did something rare. They listened. In 2019, they made pass interference reviewable. Coaches could challenge it. Refs could fix their mistakes. Problem solved, right? Wrong. Refs refused to overturn bad calls. Almost every challenge failed. It was like the league told refs, pretend to review it, but don't actually change anything. Coaches were furious. Fans felt tricked. And then, after just one season, the NFL quietly killed the rule. The conspiracy? The league knew the Saints were robbed. They knew it looked bad. So they created a rule to calm people down, but never actually intended to use it. Once the anger faded, they got rid of it. Why introduce a rule just to ignore it? Unless the whole thing was just for show. And if you think that's shady, wait until you hear about overtime rules. Overtime rules. Why some teams never touch the ball. Imagine this. Your team battles for 60 minutes. The game goes to overtime. You win the coin toss. Your offense marches down the field and scores a touchdown. Game over. You win. But the other team's offense? They never even got a chance to touch the ball. That's the NFL's overtime rule. And fans hate it. It's happened in huge games, including the 2018 AFC Championship when the Patriots beat the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, one of the best quarterbacks ever, just stood on the sideline watching. He never got a chance. People say the rule favors offensive teams and big-market franchises with star quarterbacks. Win the toss, score fast, go home. It's less about skill and more about luck. The NFL changed overtime rules for the playoffs in 2022, but only after years of complaints. Here's the conspiracy. The league loved the drama of sudden death overtime. Quick endings. Big moments. Perfect for TV. So why change a rule that creates instant highlights, even if it's unfair? But some rules don't just decide games. They decide entire seasons. Pushing teammates forward, the rule that helped Philly win. For decades, you couldn't push or pull your teammate forward. It was illegal. If a running back got stuffed at the line, you couldn't shove him into the end zone. Simple rule. Everyone followed it. Then in 2024, the NFL changed it. Now you can push your teammate. And guess who benefited the most? The Philadelphia Eagles and their tush-push play. Jalen Hurts would sneak forward, and his massive offensive line would literally shove him into the end zone. It was nearly unstoppable. Fans of other teams were furious. They said the rule was changed specifically to help Philly. The Eagles were a big-market team. They were exciting. They had a young star quarterback. Changing the rule made them even more dominant and more watchable. The NFL said it was about player safety, but critics said it was about ratings. The Eagles brought viewers. The league wanted them in prime time. So why not change a rule to keep them winning? Coincidence? Or carefully planned? And then there's the rule that made defenders afraid to even tackle. Helmet-to-helmet hits, safety first, or star protection. Nobody wants players to get hurt. Brain injuries are serious. CTE is real. So when the NFL banned helmet-to-helmet hits, most people understood. Players' safety matters. But then fans started noticing something strange. Star players seem to get more protection than others. A defender barely touches a famous quarterback's helmet? 15-yard penalty. But a no-name running back gets blasted in the head? Sometimes, nothing. The inconsistency was glaring. The conspiracy isn't that the rule exists. It's about how it's enforced. Critics say refs protect the league's biggest names more than everyone else. Why? Because stars sell tickets. They sell jerseys. They keep fans watching. If Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow gets hurt, ratings drop. The league loses money. So is the helmet-to-helmet rule really about safety for all players? Or is it about making sure the league's cash cows stay healthy? The rule is good, but the way it's used makes people wonder. But at least those rules happened on the field. This next one happened in a courtroom. Deflategate and ball PSI rules. Was Brady punished or targeted? Tom Brady and the Patriots are accused of deflating footballs to get an advantage. The NFL investigates. Brady gets suspended for 4 games. The Patriots lose draft picks. It's a massive scandal. Except, the science didn't really prove anything. Here's where it gets wild. Some fans think the NFL targeted Brady because he was too dominant. The Patriots had won too much. The league needed to humble them and make an example. Others think it was revenge for the Tuck rule and Spygate. The NFL wanted to show nobody was above the rules. But there's another angle. Controversy sells. Deflategate was everywhere. On every sports show. Every news channel. Everyone was talking about it. And the NFL loved the attention. Even bad press kept people watching football. After Deflategate, the league changed how footballs were handled. But was it really about cheating? Or was it about drama, punishment, and keeping the league in the headlines no matter what? Speaking of punishments, Let's talk about a rule that changed how teams could even celebrate. Celebration penalties. The no-fun league era. Score a touchdown. Celebrate with your team. Get a penalty. Wait, what? For years, the NFL banned elaborate celebrations. No props. No group dances. No dunking over the goalpost. If you celebrated too much, you got flagged. Fans called the league the no-fun league. Players were frustrated. Even casual viewers thought it was ridiculous. The conspiracy? The NFL wanted to control its image. They wanted football to look professional and family-friendly. But critics said it was about control. The league wanted players to act like robots. No personality, no individuality. Just play, score, and shut up. Then in 2017, the NFL suddenly relaxed the rules. Players could celebrate again. Why the change? Some say it was about competing with other leagues and social media. Highlights of crazy celebrations go viral. They bring attention. The NFL realized fun moments make money. So was banning celebrations ever about respect for the game? Or was it just the league flexing power until they realized fun sells better? And now, the final conspiracy that ties everything together. The real question, does the NFL control outcomes? Here's what we've learned tonight. The Tuck rule helped build a dynasty. Roughing the passer rules boosted scoring and ratings. Pass interference reviews were introduced and then ignored. Overtime rules kept star quarterbacks in the spotlight. Rules were enforced differently for big-name players. And celebration bans controlled how players expressed themselves. Every single rule change sparked conspiracy theories. And every theory asks the same question. Is the NFL protecting the game or controlling the outcome? Some fans believe the league scripts moments to maximize drama and profit. Others think it's just incompetence and bad timing. But one thing is undeniable. Rule changes often benefit the league's biggest stars, biggest markets, and biggest storylines. So what do you think? Are these coincidences? Or is there something bigger going on? Maybe the truth isn't black and white. Maybe the NFL doesn't script games, but they do create conditions for certain outcomes. Because in the end, the NFL isn't just a sports league. It's a business. And business is always about control. The rules were never just about the game. They were about the empire. So there you have it. From the Tuck rule to Deflategate. From roughing the passer to overtime controversies. From biased officiating to rules that always seem to help the Chiefs and big market teams. Every rule change, every questionable call, every conspiracy theory, they all point to one truth. The NFL isn't just running a league, they're running a show. And in every show, someone's pulling the strings. The question is, are you okay with that? Drop your thoughts below. Hit subscribe if you want more truth bombs. Because the conspiracies, they're just getting started.